waiting to see if get some people on. I've got everything I need. Hello. Hi, Debbie. Can you hear me, Debbie? There's Ronnie. Once I get started, I'm not really gonna see who's, but I like y'all commenting during it because I love to go back. And who is that? I saw somebody say, can you see me? But I couldn't tell who it was. I love to go back and read the comments later, and I love it. All right, Debbie you can hear me. Great, Debbie. All right, we're getting a few people on. So this afternoon, I had to put the apron on because I'm about to make a mess, a big mess. I always make a huge mess when I make this, and I am making chicken and dumplings. If you saw my video this morning, I'm a little fuzzy, okay? It's probably just not good quality. Is that better? I cleaned the camera. I hope it's good. Hey, Jenny. All right, guys. So we got some people on. I'm gonna go ahead and start. Hopefully it'll clear up a little bit. But today at lunch, I put on some collard greens, which my favorite is turnip greens, but I did put some collard greens on. Let me grab them and I'll show them to you. I've still got them cooking back here on the back. They're really hot. I've had them cooking low, but I turned them up a little bit. Woo! So see how they have cooked down to about half a pot. That was a whole full pot when I started. Now I'm going to tell y'all may be thinking, why in the world would she cook so many greens and there's just 2 of them? I'm going to carry my mom and dad some across the road. But also, when I cook greens, I cook a big pot full. And then we'll eat them for supper one night. We might eat them the next night. And then I freeze them. I put them in bags and freeze them in smaller portions. And then I've got them ready. The next time I want turnip greens or collard greens, I pull them out of the freezer, put them in a saucepan on the stove with a little more water, and I put them on there frozen, turn them on, and they're done in no time. They're already done, they just gotta be heated up. So you got what tastes like fresh turnip greens or fresh collard greens. So if I'm gonna cook something like that, I'm gonna cook a big pot full, okay? So that's just something that you can do. Now, before I get started, I'm making chicken and dumplings tonight. So I'm gonna make a mess because I'm gonna have flour, I've got my apron. But before I get my chicken and dumplings started, I'm gonna cornbread. And we'll get it in the oven. I've got an iron skillet on top of the stove, and I've turned it on high. And I'm gonna add some oil to the bottom of my pan. Quite a bit of oil. I want it to cover it and be about that deep in the bottom of my pan. 2 cups of cornmeal here. Just cornmeal. Not flour, not sugar, just cornmeal. Russell, no sugar. Russell loves me and sugar in my cornbread. I don't like it. And I didn't put any in my collards either, Russell. 1 egg. Now I've got buttermilk. I don't know how much buttermilk. I put a couple of cups in there. I don't know how much I use because I never measure. I'll try to figure it out here. But I want to tell you a trick about buttermilk. If you don't have any buttermilk and your recipe calls for buttermilk, you can take sweet milk and add a tablespoon or so of vinegar, and that makes up for buttermilk. That'll give it that same taste. It'll clabber your milk a little bit, and it's really good. So if you don't have buttermilk, you can do that. Now, when I say sweet milk, I'm just reminded that I have a cousin that asked me the other day, what is sweet milk? That is just regular milk, like 2% or whole milk, just plain milk, okay? So I'm gonna go ahead and start pouring. I'm gonna set this over here. And I'm letting my grease get hot in my skillet. I'm gonna go ahead and pour in. I poured in about a cup. And I'm gonna start stirring it. And I just want it to get to a certain kind of consistency. Mix that egg up in there really good. It's pretty thick. I'm going to add just a little more of my milk. That's about the consistency I want mine right there. It's not real thin, but it's not just real thick. Now, I've got my grease heating here on the stove. I'm going to go ahead and put some dry cornmeal. I can hear it sizzling. I don't know if you can. Just sprinkle it in the bottom and kind of coat the bottom of the skillet in that dry cornmeal. I'm going to give it a minute. Shake it around. I'm going to let it start really sizzling. And then I'm going to pour my batter into this hot grease. I'm going to go ahead and turn my oven on now. I didn't preheat my oven because I know when I set my oven on 500 and I put my bread in there, when it beeps that it's reached 500, my cornbread is usually just like I like it. So I did not preheat it. All right, this is starting to brown, so we're getting there. I'm going to turn this down a minute. I might have turned it all the way off. Come on, back up. This middle eye I've got here gives me a fit sometimes. There we go. I don't want it all the way down. Okay. Alright, so my cornmeal is starting to brown in the bottom of my skillet. So I'm going to pour my batter in. All of it. And then I'm going to give it a shake. And that's going to let some of that grease come up on top. And that handle's getting a little warm. So I'll turn my eye off. And in the oven it goes. And that may even be a little thicker. I like really thin cornbread, but it's okay, however it works out. All right. On the middle eye here, I have got chicken broth. Now, let me tell y'all how I did my chicken. I put my chicken in the oven. No, not in the oven. In the crock pot this morning. So you can put your chicken in the crock pot when you get up and leave for work. And I just I put a lot of water in my crock pot. And I like to do a whole chicken. I didn't have a whole chicken today. So today I used leg quarters. Your fat and your dark meat really give your broth a lot of good flavor. So leg quarters and thighs are really good to use to make chicken and dumplings with, or a whole chicken. If you prefer white meat, you can do it with just breast. But I would leave the skin on. I have made it with boneless, skinless chicken breast, and it's good. They're good, but they're really better if you leave that skin on. So I put it in my crock pot this morning on high because I wanted it really to cook and just fall apart. And I put it on high and I covered it. I filled my crock pot with water. And I put about a half a stick of butter in there as well, and a good portion of salt, and I put pepper in mine. We like pepper, so I put black pepper. and I turned it on high and I let it cook all day. So then, right when I got off work, I had already taken the chicken out to let it be cooling down because I want to debone it. So right when I got off work, I deboned it. So I've got it ready to go back in once we get our dumplings made. I transferred the broth from the crock pot into this pot right here because I really wanted it to come up to a good rolling boil. I want it to be at a good rolling boil when I put my dumplings in. So we're there. I've probably got of flour in here, and today I'm all-purpose flour, plain flour. Sometimes I just use self-rising flour. I happen to have this all-purpose flour and it needed to be used, so that's what I'm using. But the way I make mine, I'm gonna take this hot juice from the chicken and put into the flour, so it will kill any of the yeast or the leavening that's in there anyway, because that hot juice will do that. So it doesn't matter if you use plain flour or if you use self-rising. I am going to put a little bit of salt, probably not even a half teaspoon. I'm just going to put a little, let me do a little more. A little bit of salt into my flour. I did sift this on all the way. It seemed kind of lumpy, so I sifted it today. I'm going to start taking a ladle of juice, and that's probably about, and I'm going to do about a half more because I think it needs it. I may have to add juice, and I may have to switch out. I am going to use this spoon because I forgot to grab another one, so I'm just going to wipe it off with a paper towel. This is the one I mixed my corn. Alright, so I'm going to start mixing it up. This was my mama's mixing bowl, so every time I use it, I think about her. And it's going to need a little more. So I've done about a cup and a half, so I'll do another about a half more. Now the reason I cook my chicken, now I do sometimes, if I'm in a hurry, I'll put it in the pot and cook it on top of the stove. But the problem I have with that is I tend to let it boil dry. Not dry, but I boil out a lot more of my juice than I want to. So if I put it in a crock pot, I don't have to worry about that juice boiling out. I've just floured my hand. And so that's why I do mine in a crock pot. Plus, you don't have to worry about it. Just put it on and forget about it. Because when I'm working, you know, I can't be worrying about what's cooking. So that's why I say you can do it in the morning before you leave going to work. You can put your chicken in your crock pot, and when you get home, it'll be done. Alright, I think that's a pretty good dough consistency. I'm going to roll it out here. This pan, this mixing bowl gets hot from that juice. So I'm going to put it out here on my board. And I have floured this, and I'm going to work it now. I'm going to need to put some more flour here. So you're going to get your hands dirty, and I always forget to take my rings off. So, you know, I guess any good Southern cook's probably going to have a ring full of dough at some point in time in their life. And I'm working this pretty good. My mother-in-law told me one time my dumplings fell all to pieces. They tasted good, but they just fell all to pieces. And she said, it's because you didn't work your dough long enough. So I'll listen to her, and I'm going to work it. So I'm working it. Now, I like to roll mine really, really thin. So you're going to see me do that here in a second. I hope you guys can see my board. I've got my broth rolling over there really good. Let me just work it one more time just to make sure. Okay. Got my flour all over me, but can't be helped. Also, I like to keep my dough and my board generously floured because I like for it to be covered with some flour when I put it in the broth because it thickens that broth up. So, and also after your chicken gets done, make sure you taste your broth and that you've got enough salt in it and whatever seasoning. Now I'm going to use my nice dough roller that my brother-in-law made for me, Rod. He does such a good job with his woodworking. So I'm going to start out, I'm going to roll it, and like I said, I roll mine really thin. See, my roller didn't have enough flour on it, so it stuck to it. Okay. All right, so I'm rolling them. And I don't roll the entire thing out at one time. And my dumplings aren't really pretty. I don't make them uniform in shape and size and look really pretty. My cooking, a lot of my stuff is not really pretty. I call it rustic. That's what I like to call it. I look exactly like Alright, so I'm putting a lot of flour on there. Now I've got them, and I'm gonna cut up through there. And I don't make them really long. I just kind of, but you'll see how thin it is. You can see how thin that is. I make mine really thin. They'll fatten up in the juice over there. All right, so I'm gonna cut about 3 there. Oops, I cut that one in half, but it don't really matter. It'll be all right. I'm gonna need somebody to come and clean my floors up after I get done. All right, so I'm just gonna start dropping them one at a time into the rolling broth. All right. And you can make them however long you want to make them. I used to make them just really long, but they would fold up. All right, y'all. I'm gonna wipe my hand on my belly. I'm gonna have to step out of the shot for just a second because I just noticed that my battery's going low. So let me get it plugged up. I'll be right back with you. Don't go away. I'm not going far. I'm sorry. I meant to make sure about everything that I had everything in orange before I started this, and of course, there we go. Now we're plugged up. All right, let me rinse my hands because I've handled that. I handled that cord, so I don't want to handle this food after handling that cord. All right, so there we go. I got to get my hands good and dry because I don't want the dumplings sticking to them. Okay, so here we go. I got one more I'm going to cut before I start rolling again. And depending on how much broth you have will kind of determine how much dough you want to make. I might, get to the end of this and have a lot of broth and be like, well, I want to make a little more. But usually this amount that I've told y'all usually does what I need. Sometimes I can't use it all. So here we go, rolling it out just really thin. I have been smelling this chicken cooking all day, and I am hungry. Now Donnie, he claims he doesn't like chicken and dumplings, but every time I make them, he eats some of them. Like the last time I made them, I just gave him a little bit because I was supposed to just give me a little bit. I figured he'd eat any more. Well then, in a few minutes, I said, well, do you want any more of these? Yeah, just give me a little bit more. So I think he likes them. But I am going to make him some a chicken leg quarter in the air fryer. I'm going to just cook it in that air fryer. That one's a little thicker than I want, so I'm going to run my rolling pin over it one more time. And it's ugly, but it doesn't matter to me. I don't discriminate against an ugly dumpling. Some people might consider me an ugly dumpling. So no, I'm not gonna discriminate. Alright. This little pizza cutter is the perfect thing to cut them with, too. You can use a butter knife or a knife of any kind you want, but that pizza cutter does the trick really well. Alright. I'm just getting them thin because I like mine thin. That's a big one. Like I said, I don't really make them pretty. I'm not going to win any prizes at the county fair for how my dumplings look. Just going to tell you that right now. Okay. I should have already had this done, I guess, so y'all wouldn't have for so long. But you want to see the process, I know. So that's what I'm doing. Now this is fat on the end, so I'm going to break it off. I'm going to take the thin part and dump it in. Now every now and then as you're adding these, I'm going to knock that loose flour in there. You might just want to shake your pan. You don't want to stir dumplings, because stirring them will break them up. So you don't want to do that. Okay. I was telling y'all earlier that turnip greens is one of my favorite foods. So I've been cooking these collard greens, which I do like, but not as well as turnip greens. But it made me think about early childhood memory I have before I started kindergarten. I can remember when all my other brothers and sisters would be at school and my mom would be making turnip greens, and I can remember standing by the stove begging her to let me have some before they were done. I remember that very clearly. And I got these coated really good with some flour because I want that juice to thicken up. Remember I said I added some butter to my chicken? That just gives it a little more flavor. You don't have to do that. I haven't always done that. I just kind of started that recently. I guess because I thought the chicken wasn't killing me fast enough, so I wanted to add a little butter to it. I don't know. But it makes it good. Alright, I also take my ladle sometimes and just push down as I'm getting more in the pot. It's still boiling, but it's not as fast of a rolling boil. I've turned it down a little bit because they will stick. You kind of have to keep an eye on them because they will stick. So I'm just still working here. Where's my oven? Let me turn my light on. The cornbread looks like it's getting there. I generally wouldn't put my cornbread in this early, but I wanted y'all to see how I made it. Because it don't take a really long time. There we go. Throw it in there. I've got flour from the floor, on the floor from here to the stove. So, y'all see why I put the apron on this afternoon. But I'll just clean it up. Nobody else will. I shouldn't say that. Help me sometimes when you least expect it. The other night, I like to walk every night after supper, and I was out walking the other night, and I came home and my kitchen was completely cleaned up because it was a little later and I didn't want to miss my walk, so I just left everything sitting and went walking. And yeah, he did it. It's little things like that that helps out and means a lot. So don't y'all tell him about that. Everything I tell y'all not to tell him, he seems to end up finding out. I'm just teasing. I don't care if you tell him. But those things are things that mean a lot to you. And these pieces are getting kind of scrappy looking. I'm just try to make them look the best I can because I'm getting kind of hot here. And I just need to check and see how many I got in here. I had quite a bit of water, so it's going to hold quite a bit. Hey, there goes my preheat on my oven. Let me go check that out just a second and see if that cornbread is truly ready. In just a second. We're going to check it out. I like my cornbread with a really crispy crust. That's why you put that oil in the bottom like I did. Alright, so we're about. Hope y'all aren't getting bored of me. I'm sorry. That flour back forward. And I'm just gonna check this out. Oh yeah, it's done. Perfect. It's really hot. Alright, see how it's brown on top? Now, sorry I went out of the shot. I gotta get a plate. I'm gonna flip it onto a plate. Oh yeah, that's perfect like I like it. I told y'all I like mine thin and crispy. Look at this. Look at this cornbread. That is, and right now, with it piping hot out of the oven like this, it's the best. It's at the best that it will be. After it cools down, it's good, but I'm fixing to cut it. Now, a lot of people cut their cornbread like a pie. That is not how we cut our cornbread. We go straight across, and then straight across, and like that. We cut long pieces, but this piece right here, on the edge, that's my favorite piece. So there's the cornbread, folks. All right, I'm gonna set it over here. I'm gonna turn my lid, and I'm gonna set it on top of my greens. Ready to go. All right, so the cornbread is done. See, I told you when that 500 goes off in that oven, it's perfect. Perfect. And that's how I always make my cornbread. Now, usually I will make mine in a smaller skillet than that if it's just for me and Donnie. But tonight I'm sharing with my mom and dad, so I made a bigger skillet. So, I've about got these. I'm just working on the last little pieces. And I'm about done with the dough. I'm Cook just for a little bit, not at a rolling boil. They do not take long to cook. But I've got some little pieces left here, and I'm not going to waste any of it because I've got plenty of juice. So, just going to roll them out. And you know, some of you people who are neater and everything can make these just perfect shaped and size and all that, but I just get slap happy and mine aren't. I can't even roll a pie crust out to be pretty in shape. It's like wonk-sided, you know, it's never round. And I've got this mat here that's got a round thing on it. That's supposed to be your guide, but I have to roll mine out way bigger and then cut it to make it round. I'm just cooking for real over here. As I told y'all the other day, I'm not the best cook in the world. I'm not the best cook that you know. And I might not even be the best cook in this house. But I do enjoy cooking. And I enjoy sharing my cooking with you all. There's a big old dumpling if anybody wants one big one. Alright. I've got them all rolled out. I've got my belly all floured up. And the floor, and my feet. So there we go. I'm going to shake them down a little bit. I'm fixing to bring the camera over. Let me unplug it and show you the dumplings in the pot. Hope you can see them. So I'm just letting them cook down. And see how it's got that yellow in there? And then there's the cornbread. I hope you can see it. And here is my chicken that I deboned. And I'm going to add it to the pot here in just a second. So, there we go. Like I said, don't take long to cook. I could probably taste one right now. Really. Let me see if I can. Let me go ahead and add my chicken. I'm just going to add a little chicken here. Ooh. If you don't want to put all the chicken back in it, especially if you make a whole chicken, this would make really good chicken salad too, like the next day. Especially if you use white meat. Alright, I'm just ladling it down. I like a lot of chicken in my dumplings though. Alright, let me shake it. Some of them are breaking up, some of them aren't. I'm going to get this flat. I like to dip mine out with this flat spoon because it doesn't break everything up. But I'm going to get my little tasting bowl here. And I'm going to kind of go under the bottom to get some of the ones I first did. And get a little broth in there. And the little chicken. And like I said, you want to be careful you don't break them up. Well, there we go. Can you see them? All right, I've got a dumpling here. There's the dumpling. I'm out of the camera. There we go. All right, let's taste it. It's gonna be hot. That's what I always say. I am going to go ahead and add a little bit more salt to it because I feel like that broth just needs a little more salt. And if I wasn't taking this to Mom and Dad, I'd add more black pepper to it. Because Donnie will say, you didn't put any black pepper in it. I don't know if I told y'all that, but everything I do, he loves black pepper. Loves it. And everything I do, he'll say, you didn't put any black pepper in it. And I'm like, it doesn't matter how much black pepper I put in there. He's gonna add more, so we'll add some black pepper to ours. That juice, it's just gonna thicken. It's gonna thicken up. And if it's not thick enough, if I want it thicker, I could just sprinkle some dry flour in there and let it boil. Okay, chicken and dumplings. See how easy they are? Not hard at all. So easy. And greens, collard greens, they're good too. Hope y'all make some chicken and dumplings and some greens and some cornbread. Hope you guys have a great night. Let's see, it's Friday. Hope you get to go fishing this weekend. Hope I get to go fishing this weekend. All right, let me see if I can read some of these comments. Roger Ballantyne. What time do I need to be there to eat with you and Donnie? Roger, you probably know that question as well as I do. I never know when Donnie's going to get here. Now, I will tell you, I always wait on him. Unless he calls me or texts me and says, I'm going to be late, go ahead. So I always do that. So Roger, I don't know. Let's see, what time is it now? 5 o'clock? Maybe 30, 45 minutes. I don't know. And he may be here in 15. All right, Joy's watching. Hey, Carrie. Carrie, you like the edges too on your cornbread? I love the edges. Joan, you like that too? Debbie, Leslie, got a lot of family and friends watching. Oh, Jamie. You're a beautiful dumpling too, Jamie. Thank you. Hey, Bettina. Hey, Stephanie. Crystal. Tara. Alicia. Karen. Crystal. Tub or Sharon, I'm not sure which one it is. Is it Tub or is it Sharon or is it both? Roger's watching. Hey, Martha, Suzanne, Melinda, Jerry Wayne, Nathan and Jessica. I just want to say hi to everybody because I really appreciate all the support that I've been getting. It's been fun and I hope to keep it up. And if y'all keep watching, just like videos for me so they can kind of get out there a little more and share it. Let's see if anything else I need to add. Share my page with your friends if you feel so inclined. If you don't, that's okay. Hi, Barb in Michigan. Regina. Joan is up in Chicago or near Chicago. Jill and Sherry. Kim. Y'all, I'm going to tell y'all a secret. It won't be a secret anymore, will it? I'm having trouble seeing all the comments because my ponytail holder that I have my phone strapped to the tripod with is in the way. So anyway, Dana's in Michigan. Russell, 100%. There is no place for sugar in cornbread. Amen, Russell. Katie, Pat, Mercedes, Carrie, Megan. All right. Brian or Hallie, I'm guessing it's Hallie. Theresa and Debbie and Retha, Jenny, Susie, Debbie, Angela, Ronnie. I don't want to miss anybody, so I think that got to the top. Thank you all for watching. And I'm done. I guess I'll shut up. I don't want to burn y'all out. I don't want y'all to get sick of seeing me. So I'll be posting something probably maybe Sunday, maybe not. I probably won't post it Sunday because I'll have to video it and then I'll have to upload it. And I have to go somewhere that's got better internet. But cheesecake is coming. Cheesecake is coming. And then Tuesday night, I plan on doing something for Tuesday night. So y'all stay tuned, keep watching, like, share, please, if you feel inclined. If you don't, that's okay. I don't care. It's just for fun. Have a good evening. Bye-bye.